But I just was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, this kind of doesn't make any sense. So we'll see. Hello, beautiful people. It's Mama Goob. So I wanted to come on here today and talk briefly about this confusion, or at least the confusion that I have over Amber Lynn Reed and her psychologist slash psychiatrist. Was she seeing somebody? Was she not seeing somebody? Was this the person from the outpatient clinic? Did the person go on maternity leave? There's just so many questions. So I dug into Amberlyn Reed's past um, uploads to see if I could sort of piece together her whole story with her psychologist. The last video that I reacted to, or I'm sorry, it wasn't the makeup video, it was the video prior to that. I was confused because she's like, "Oh, I'm starting therapy." I'm like, "What do you mean you're starting therapy? You've been in therapy all this time." So, just to remind you, I will replay that now and then we'll go on to her the videos I was able to uncover that talk about her different psychologist visits and psychiatrist
What
visits.
I can. I ended up asking him, I was like, do you recommend any therapists or psychologists? Anyone good? Anyone that you feel like would be a good fit with me? And he actually sent over
What about the person she had? I mean, so I know she had the one who was health at any size, but
six, and I chose one. I called and I made an appointment.
so the first one I want to talk about, this vlog is dated May 4th, 2022. And in this vlog, she talks about hoping to keep her psychologist from the weight loss outpatient facility, not the weight loss, the eating disorder outpatient facility. So let's take a quick peek at this.
I had multiple, like several appointments
Multiple.
with the program. So I've had
She's talking about the outpatient program.
easily over 10 hours of outpatient program.
A whole 10 hours.
And I know that those 10 hours honestly did change a big part of my brain.
Humongous.
Am I saying I'll like not do outpatient forever? No, maybe I will go back. But I'm taking what I did learn already, using that. And I'm also using what I already knew. It turns out I knew more than I freaking thought. Like, my psychologist was like, "You're smarter than you think." And I was like, "Ooh, I feel like I'm dumb. Literally, I feel like I'm an idiot." But okay, thank you. As for therapy, I love it. So I'm actually going to see if I can keep my psychologist as a therapist and not as someone who is like telling me not to count calories. I really want my psychologist to, or my future therapist, to support me in my decision of weight loss because this is for my health, it's for my future, and it's very important. That's ultimately what needs to happen here. Let's be real.
So then we move to June 13th, 2022. And she's talking now about her first appointment back with the psychologist.
A really big thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is I am back to doing like my eating disorder treatment. Actually had my first appointment back today. We did it over Zoom. It was such a good appointment. Like, I was dreading it because like I feel so sick. But then like once the appointment started and stuff, it like made me feel better. Like, there was just a lot on my chest that I needed to talk about.
Mhm.
But honestly, I'm so glad that I made the choice to continue. I love this psychologist. Literally, it's everything I've ever looked for
Now, mind you, this is a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, which we'll talk about in a minute.
in therapy. I truly truly love her. Don't want to lose her, and I know she doesn't want to lose me. She really wants me to be her patient, and I want her to be my psychologist. So yeah, we just vibe very
It's a match made in heaven.
well in that sense. It's very like professional, and I love that because like in the past with like counseling and stuff, like there's always like this weird friendship level where they try to like become my friend and
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I have had people be like nice and fun and, act very cordial with you, but I don't ever remember having a psychologist feel like they wanted to be my friend.
like
But Amber's weird. She's quirky now. She's got, everybody loves her.
uh, what, like 2 therapists ago, like, she was showing me her Instagram. I'm like, "This isn't the vibe I want. I need someone who's professional." and
Yeah,
here to heal my trauma or to help me heal it. So I am back to doing that. I know a lot of people are probably going to be happy because a lot of you are very upset that I quit. So we're back in action though. So
good. So this is June 15th, 2022, and she's just explaining how she's back with the psychologist from the eating disorder clinic. And she's just talking about her binges and how she speaks with the psychologist on that.
want it. Like, you know how many times I've binged and I have been eating the food and I'm like, I do not want this. I do not want this. Stop eating, stop eating. And I literally can't. These are things I talk to my psychologist about because, as you guys know, I am back doing the whole eating disorder
And by the way, that is binge eating disorder when you can't stop, but whatever.
therapy situation type deal. And I honestly love it. Like, it's just, I was very open and honest because the reason why I quit was because like I wanted to count calories. I really wanted to focus on weight loss.
Why she quit the outpatient program.
And I was really honest. And I said, I can't be a part of something that doesn't want me to like focus on weight loss. So I was very honest that like I want to lose weight for my health and for millions of
Of
other
course.
reasons. And thankfully, they understood. So we're doing like a little compromise moment, which I love. I'm still going through, the therapy with my psychologist while trying to work on my like physical health with my weight loss. So the two together, I feel like is going to be a perfect recipe for success.
So now this is August 18th, 2022. She's going to be speaking about her psychiatrist here, which we haven't heard about in a really long time, but and we'll get on to it. There's other sections where she's talking about visiting the psychiatrist for 4 years now. So let's revisit what she said. And this was right before Ankle Gate.
I don't want to trigger anyone who also struggles, and I don't want you guys to be miserable throughout my videos, like seeing me like
Too late.
this. But it has been some odd days of me feeling like this, and normally I go through super low lows that could last up to 10 days. Um, and normally during those times, I don't film. And I just, every single day, I'm just
Her hair's really dirty here.
depressed, like
Yeah.
very, very badly.
Yeah,
Don't
looks it.
worry. I still talk to my psychologist. I still see my psychiatrist. Like I'm taking my medicine and everything like that. But this is something that I'm
No,
gonna
she's
have
not.
to like deal with for the rest of my life, whether I take medicine or whether I don't. But I do take medicine. It just
Sure, Jan.
it makes it to where I don't have these days as often, but they still come. They still go. It is what it is, and I don't share these days with you guys.
This is September 2022. She's talking about how she was diagnosed with bipolar on her first visit and has a psychiatrist for the last 4 years.
How did you get diagnosed with bipolar after just one session with a psychiatrist? So I was officially diagnosed with bipolar almost 4 years ago.
Mm,
And I did vlog the experience, if you will. It took one session for the psychiatrist to know that I was bipolar and I
mhm.
was inaccurately diagnosed with depression for my whole life. I was always diagnosed with depression. The first time I was ever diagnosed with depression was 9. And I would go on these antidepressants, and they would either make me more sad or they would make me angry, or, I went through suicidal thoughts and
And I think 9 corresponds to the first time she was probably put in foster care, which, yeah, would depress me too.
I would self harm myself. And no antidepressant ever worked for me. And then
And also, antidepressants work a little differently in children. They probably shouldn't have given it to a child so young. There have been a lot of research on this and court cases. So, them giving her an antidepressant when she was 9 was not good,
then I saw this
if that's even true.
psychiatrist almost 4 years ago, and she said, they don't work for you because you're bipolar. She talked to me, ran tests. It was a couple hours visit, and I will say, I didn't know you could be diagnosed that quickly either. But she prescribed me a mood stabilizer, Lamictal,
Mhm.
because hi, bipolar. And I was nervous. I was like, it's just going to be another situation where it makes me worse. No, it actually worked. It actually helped.
Too bad she doesn't take Lamictal right now because she's obviously not well.
My manic episodes were far in between. My lows, they were just tiny little dips, tiny little normal dips in my life instead of feeling like I'm buried, underneath all just this sadness and dirt.
Okay.
Like the Lamictal completely changed my life. And that's how I know without a doubt that her diagnosis is true. Because finally, we were able to put a diagnosis to my problems, get a medication that helped me. So I don't know how she did it. I went to the appointment, she did it. I still see the same psychiatrist for almost 4 years now. This psychiatrist has been in my life and she has changed my life because she listened to me when no one else would. And
So now this is her on October 14th, 2022. So she's talking about having an appointment with her psychologist that next day. So we know now, according to Amber's own word, that she was seeing a psychologist back in October, which was like what, 6 months ago? October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, about 6 months.
I would be turning to food. That's just how I cope. A lot of people say, talk to someone about that. I do. I see a psychologist. It's not something I always talk about, but I
Where we heard that before.
do have an appointment with her tomorrow. I know a lot of people are like, well, she doesn't talk about it anymore. I don't talk about everything. It's just like the same shit, different day. You know what I'm saying?
Amen, sister. So now this is October 16th, 2022. This is where she was during her dangling lung episode where she was getting CT scans, and she just happens to mention that her psychiatrist psychiatrist now was giving birth in 2 weeks. So this is where I think we get into the point of, are we confusing psychiatrist, psychologist, or is she just flat out making this up and can't remember the lies she tells from 1 minute to the next? I don't know.
Look how sweet. Okay, so I had my appointment with my psychiatrist, and it
Psychiatrist.
went really freaking good. He's actually about to give birth in 2 weeks. I got emotional. I did. I got emotional. I'm about to leave to.
And that's all she says about that, just about giving birth, and she got emotional. All right, great. So this is November 5th, and she again is talking about visiting her psychologist.
Call myself. I really do enjoy therapeutic things, things that calm me throughout the day. Yes, I go to therapy, but it's nice to do things throughout the week when I'm not actually talking to my psychologist. That just makes me feel good and focused. And sometimes,
Now that I'm watching all these together, boom, 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 her hair is dirty every time she talks about psychologists, and her hair is not always dirty, guys. Once in a while, she does wash it, but it feels like in all these clips where she's talking about her psychologist, it's really dirty. All right, so here's the main one here on October 25th. Now, this is the one where she talks about, like, remember how I told you my psychologist was going on maternity leave and she wanted to reassign her to a male? So let's watch this.
also forgot to mention, um, so you guys know how my psychologist, wait, I'm hot, is on maternity leave. Um, she hooked me up so I'm not like without appointments with another psychologist. This one's a male, and I have never my whole life, like I started going to therapy when I was literally 9 years old because I was put in foster care, whatever
When they put her on antidepressants.
or whatever. But I have never had a male psychologist like
Psychologist now, not psychiatrist, psychologist.
And for me, I think because of my childhood and some things that have happened, it's a little bit harder for me to open up to males. I know that might be unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this because you always have to feel comfortable with who you feel comfortable with. You know, it's fine.
Controversial. I don't know. Like it shouldn't be. People have like different traumas or whatever. And
People have different preferences. Like I know to people who won't go to female OBGYNs, and then I know people who won't go to male OBGYNs. Me, I kind of don't care.
sadly, that's one of mine. It was definitely a weird experience. And yeah, that was, I don't really know how I feel about it. Like he's nice and all, but it's also just hard for me to talk to someone else in general because I've been seeing this psychologist for so long now. Like this is the longest I've been a part of anything like this. So
So if this is the same person from the ED, the outpatient ED clinic, so I think she did that around April. So, and then she started seeing the ED psychologist in May. So this is May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So 6 months. This is the longest she's ever seen a psychologist is 6 months, like the same person. That's not good.
I miss her, you know. I'm so excited for her to come back so she can tell me about her baby. No, I'm just excited. Next week, I have another appointment with him, and he gave me a little bit of homework, which
Yeah, and they always give her homework, don't they?
is not fun.
It's like she almost thinks that that's what they're supposed to do, so that's what she keeps saying. Because I don't actually believe that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never gotten homework from a therapist ever before. I mean, they say, "Hey, try this next time, try this strategy." And then they'll say, "Did you try the strategy?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," or "No," or whatever.
But, you gotta do what you gotta do and do it.
So that's basically it. I just wanted to point out that either she's confused or she's lying or I'm confused. One of the three, or maybe it's all three. But still, I'm glad if she's visiting somebody now. I really hope that the person, the woman she's dealing with, because she likes females, fine with me. I hope she is a specialist is used to treating weight loss surgery patients and binge eating disorder patients. That'd be great if she can get the best of both worlds. Only time will tell. But I just was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, this kind of doesn't make any sense. So we'll see. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. That's all I had for you today. Thanks for watching. Bye.